This is Casper de Nora, and you're watching the Chat with Chaps live show.
Good evening and welcome to the Chat with Chats Midweek live show. I'm your host, Joe Zampa, and today, as always, well, it seems like as always, I'm joined by my trusted co-hosts. First of all, Disco Steve. How you doing, Disco?
7, 8, 9. Only you two will know what I'm on about there.
Yeah. Just for our listeners there, we had a bit of a sound issue earlier, so we're counting to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you can tell, Disco's about half an hour behind at the moment. So he will join us by about, about 10:30. How you doing, Disco?
I'm brilliant, Joe. I'm delighted to be on with yourself and Stephen tonight. And I can't believe I've just looked on the comments. There's people been on since 7:30 tonight. So they're really keen. For some reason, everybody's really keen to talk about Millwall tonight. So let's see what that's about.
Eager Beavers. I thought they'll be watching a certain Champions League game on tonight instead. But no, they'd rather be with us talk about Millwall, which I love. Above yourself there is... I want to call him Stato Stephen because this guy just knows everything about Mill. He's got all the stats. So I'm sure that's going to cotton on soon. We're going to call him Stato Stephen. So Stato Stephen, how are you doing, mate? How are you this evening?
I'm very good. Considering 2 weeks ago, I didn't think these shows would be filled with much optimism. I thought it was going to peter out. Here we are, last game of the season, and the boys have still got a chance.
I know. I was writing up quizzes for the last 2 episodes, thinking what else am I going to talk about? I can't talk about football on the pitch, but I tell you what, we are there. Listeners, you are in for a fantastic show. Lots to talk about this evening. We're going to talk about the Lions' late surge to the potential playoff places if things go our way this weekend. So, of course, we've got the playoff dramas. We'll do a Burnley preview. We'll have a little chat about injury updates and squad news. We want to touch on Alex Neil, a bit of a confidence check with him. How's he getting on as a manager? We will talk about the contracts of players that were due to be expired this season. And we also want to touch on very, very loosely on the Zian Fleming deal. Obviously, Richard Cowley come out in recent week or so talking about, we've got nothing for him other than just a flat, £7 million fee. But there could be more to it than Richard Cowley's even talked about. So we'll reveal that a little bit later on in the show. So first of all, guys, Stephen, I'm sure you were there. Disco, I'm sure you're watching it on a dodgy stream. Let's go to you first, Stephen. What's your thoughts on the Swansea game? 1-0 win against Swansea.
Well, that second half was hell, really, wasn't it? Because we'd already seen that Coventry had lost at Kenilworth Road and 1-0 up. And I actually thought first half we were really good. I thought we were really, really good. We had some good chances. Swansea didn't really have much in the first half. And then all the sort of confidence, all the Alex Neil style of play, everything that we've been doing to get us to this point, we lost it for 20 minutes in the second half. We looked nervous. We looked like we didn't want to mess it up, basically. That's probably the best way to describe it. And I tweeted it I for the guys that follow me or have seen it, that George Evans kept our season alive. He was absolutely superb in the second half. But I think in the end, I think we probably could have had a couple of goals. But as always, we don't do it the easy way, do we?
No, absolutely. And we will touch on that later. Guys, we want to get your thoughts in the chat. Not yet. Wait till a bit later when we talk about the Liam Roberts versus George Evans scenario this weekend. Disco, before we come to you, let me go to the chat very, very quickly, see who's in the house. So first of all, number 1 is Jeff Chandler. The boys are back in town. How you doing, Jeff? Hope you're well, mate. Hope all is good. Jeff Cook, Disco's friend and friend of the show as well. How are you, Jeff? Hope you're well, mate. Husey, good to see you. Yeah, prime viewing on 2 screens tonight. See? Who said men can't multitask? Chris Brown, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Andrew, cheers for being with us, mate. David Turner, good evening, gang. Good evening. Alex S, on time again, Alex. Impressive.
Yeah.
Born free, die free, evening all. I, for one, think it's on. I love your optimism, Born free. Craig Jones, evening one and all. Hope you're well, Craig. Craig, what's up? Giving us Dej Kempster, being back at the den is wanted. Exactly. Let's get a petition out. Being back at the den. Maybe we should get a poll out and forward it onto to Mill Socials to see if they watch it. Andrew Cahill, evening all. Hope you're well, Cahill. Flacky, I'm preparing a lesson for tomorrow while listening. Wow, that's impressive. Sticks, evening all. Dare we dream? Come on, let's dream. Monica Jones, is that Miss? Is that Mummy Jones?
It is.
How you doing, Mummy Jones? Hope you're well. We're looking after your boy. Make sure he's well behaved. Mark Murphy, good to see you, mate. Good evening. Leslie Goddard, thanks for joining us. Evening. London Lions in the house as well. Mark Murphy, Stato Stephen or Stat O Stephen, the Irish guy. Since Alex Neil took charge, no teams won more games than us, and the last 10 only Burnley. He's taking more points. Mm-hmm. Exactly, I've seen that, and that's impressive. Great little bit of form there, isn't it, Alex? Connor, good evening, Millwall fans. Hope you're well, mate. To quote Unai Emery, we need to be 100% better on Saturday than we were second half against Swansea. Absolutely, I think Stephen's touched on that as well. Evening, chaps. Evening, Andy. I always wonder, this is Andy Roberts, the Andy Roberts, played for Millwall in the early 90s. Let us know in the chat. Samuel, hope you're well, mate. Chris says, why not a live watch along if you're not going? I would do it, but I'm actually abroad on Saturday and on a Vets tour, Chris. I don't know why, but I think someone picked up my goal at the Den, and I've been involved in playing in a Vets tour over in Malta. So
hang on, 7 minutes in, and he's bloody got it.
But I will be watching it. Don't you worry about that. Alex says, "No, be about chat with chaps watched on." Yeah, exactly. Let's see that catches on. Maybe Disco might be able to sort something out. A live feed from the game, Disco. What do you reckon? You'll be there watching, won't you?
I'll be too nervous. Won't be able to hold.
And Stephen, you both will be there actually, so you can both be in back, can't you? Nick Saville, good evening, chaps. All aboard the playoff train. Let's go. Andy Roberts, no, he's not in. Damn. Could have lied, Andy. Jeff Cook, Arsenal 1-0 down.
Yeah, Dembele scored early.
God. Right. That's it. We did it. So, Disco,
can I just ask Joe, before we go on, was it Hughesy who said he's got double screens tonight? Yeah, prime viewing on 2 screens tonight. Is he watching maths on the other one? Is he watching maths Australia?
Oh, don't get me started on maths, Disco. It's getting tasty at the moment, isn't it? You've been watching it.
I'm into it now. You've bloody done me. I'm into it. Terrible.
Dear me. It's addictive, isn't it? I think I'm about 2 episodes behind. I've got it on the old screen recorder at the moment. So
boys. We're here to talk Millwall. We're here to talk Millwall.
Back in the game. Let's get back in the game. Come on, slap ourselves in the face, Disco.
Trying to get the nerves down.
Let's talk Millwall. What's your thoughts on Swansea game? Obviously, we knew prior to the Swansea game that we had a bit of a chance getting to the playoffs with the results going our way. What did you take the performance? First half, second half.
Well, listen, I thought first and foremost it was a very, very tough game that we had. They are super in form, or were super in form. I know we are as well, but they were really the informed team without a shadow of a doubt with 5 straight wins. They've got a very good record against us, which Stephen reminded us of last week, which is right. They have got a good record against us, albeit we beat them at their place with a Casper late winner, didn't we? And I think, as Stephen said, I thought we started nervously and slowly. They were okay, nothing special. And then I thought we just dominated for the next sort of half an hour, created some great chances. The goal was excellent. Let's be honest, I think everybody watching would have thought, he would have thought that the BFS was going to take that free kick. I thought it was really well thought out, and we've asked for a bit of...
We're all forward, weren't we, that one?
Absolutely. So you can imagine the opposition would have been as well. And we've all wanted something different and something creative. They tried that. It bobbled around, but great finish, great goal, cleared the nerves. Let's be honest, after that goal, it was one-way traffic. And poor old Aziz hitting the post with a great header at the far post. That would have eased the nerves as well. So, look, we're looking good. Second half, we come out. And let's be honest, Swansea really turned the screw and really showed why they've got 5 on the bounce. They looked a decent side to me, really did. Yes, we were nervous and sat off a bit. Strangely enough, I actually thought, and this will divide opinion, I actually thought Kundal was starting to come into the game a bit and getting involved a lot more when Alex took him off. However, it was a great move.
Took him off?
No, before he took him off. Like I thought, the first sort of 10 minutes of the second half, I thought he was starting to get into the game. Not brilliant, but starting to get into it a bit.
I know what you mean,
But then he brought Honeyman on, and it was absolutely the right thing to do. If you watch it back, Honeyman really plays his part in getting a grip of the game a little bit. They then had a spell, what was it, 70 to 80, where it was one-way traffic for them. And the great save, that header that went wide was quite
we looked a bit leggy at that point, didn't we, Disco? Yeah. And I think there was one moment when Langstaff was getting warmed up to come on, and then they sort of changed it. I think they went 4-5-1, didn't they? And they didn't bring him on. But I'd probably like to have seen him come on for the last 10 minutes, just leave him running the line as a lone striker. But they didn't risk him, did they, for some reason?
Yeah, exactly. But what I would say, Joe, is they had that 10 minutes and it was real nerve jangling. And I remember Jeff, who's just texted in there, Jeff Cook texted on our group and said, we're never going to hang on to this, and I think we all felt that. However, once we got over that spell, I think from sort of 85 to 95, if you like, or 94, whatever it was, I thought 96, wasn't it? 6 minutes. I actually thought we played it out quite well and really had a couple of really
quite
good
comfortable,
chances.
Didn't we?
Yeah, Kramer should have bloody scored or hit the target, shouldn't he? And the last 6 minutes, this is something we're getting good at, touch wood. Injury time, we're playing it out really quite well at the moment. And that's encouraging going into this game on Saturday, I'd say. So, look, great win and really put their bodies on the line again, the whole team, and special mention to the keeper, as you say. But I think all in the whole team, again, a really good team effort. So happy days.
Yeah, excellent. So Disco, 4 wins our last 5 games. Obviously, we beat Portsmouth 2-1. We beat Sheffield United away 1-0. We then beat Middlesbrough 1-0 at home. And, of course, we win 3-1 against Norwich with Ivanovic getting the brace. And then against Swansea, obviously, it's 1-0 win. So our only loss was that 4-1 loss against Blackburn, going back to April the 18th, I think it was. So it just seems like had we have got a point or something out of that game, we would be in a much stronger position at the moment. But, of course, it comes down to the final day, Disco. We're obviously against a very, very, very good side away from home, Burnley. Obviously, they can't play Zian Fleming because he's tied because of contractual agreements with the loan agreement we've got with him, a loan to buy, which means he can't play against us, which is one good thing, I guess, How do you see that game playing out? I mean, obviously, there's a rumour that Liam Roberts could be fit and available to play for Saturday. If he's available, does Alex Neil go for Liam Roberts in goal instead of George Evans? I want to get your thoughts on that and the goalkeeper situation. While we listen to you guys in the chat, could you put in there Roberts or Evans? Or you put Liam or George. A lot easier. Liam or George. Who would you pick for Saturday? Disco, what's your thoughts?
Look, before we go on to that, Joe, look, I think I'm as guilty as anyone. We will all be thinking, what if we hadn't let that late goal in at Cardiff? What if we'd have got a draw at Blackburn? What if we'd have done this, done that? Look, that's the game, isn't it? Who not? Look, if we'd have got a point at Blackburn and we'd have been going into this and needing a win against Swansea to be in a top 6 place, it would have been different pressure, and who knows, we might have cocked it up, So I do think we've all got to forget that. We are where we are. The points are there. Everybody can look back across the season and what if you like. We're absolutely delighted to be in with at least an outside chance of this game. And look, we just have to, it's easy said, we just have to go and win the game. Simple as that. So how do I see it panning out? It's going to be an awfully nervy affair without a doubt. Look, they've banged in 5 at the weekend, but they're not generally renowned for scoring a lot of goals. They certainly don't let in a lot of goals. So you can imagine it's going to be a real tight, nervy affair. To answer your question on the keeper, I think George Evans has done brilliantly. Bless, the lad really take my hat off to him for doing a great job, because I feared the worst after the Blackburn game, and he's 2 clean sheets. 2 clean sheets he's had, hasn't he? And
2 clean sheets.
One. No, it's
one. Sorry.
No, because Norwich and Blackburn. Obviously, Blackburn got 4 and Norwich got 1.
Norwich got 1.
3 games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking 2 clean sheets?
Because Alex Neil said it was 2 clean sheets in his after the comment, but he got that. He did get that wrong.
Yeah,
got that wrong.
Well, if Alex can get it wrong, I'm happy to follow in his.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but look, so that's a very nervy affair. Could go either way, and we'll come on to predictions later. For all, I'm very, very impressed with Evans. And look, if he does play, he plays, and he understandably, if he's fit and if he's up for it, I'd go Roberts all day long. I think for this game, it's so big. You've got to have the experience and know-how, etc. So, I'd go Liam for me.
Interesting. Stephen, obviously, whilst listening to Disco, lots of people in the chat there. It's kind of divided really between George and Liam. I say Liam's slightly edging it, only very slightly. I say it's probably about 55% to 45% in favour of Liam Roberts. What's your thoughts on the goalkeeper situation, Stephen? Who would you pick if you're Alex Neil? And what's your thoughts on the actual game? How you see the game panning out? And can we get a win? Let's face it, a win is what we need, don't we, really?
I'll start with the game first, just because I wanted to touch on what Steve just said. You talk about ifs, buts and maybes. About 5 minutes ago, you mentioned that Casper De Norre scored in the last minute at Swansea to win us the game. We were awful that day, and Lucas Jensen actually kept us in that game for long spells.
He was man of the match, weren't he?
Yeah. If that doesn't happen, we don't get 3 points. So there's hundreds of cases you could go if that goes in. So we are where we are on merit. We are where we are based on 45 games of football. That's football. I'm sure Arsenal fans would be saying if they'd have won this game, that game, Liverpool wouldn't have already won the title. Every club does that. So I think that you got to take those into consideration. How do I think Saturday's going to go? I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. You're right, Burnley don't score that many goals. They don't, as you said, they don't concede many, but they're not renowned for it, and they've been labelled quite boring.
They scored 5, didn't they, last week?
They did, but if you look at their other results, you've got a lot of 0-0s, a lot of 1-0s. They don't score a bucket load of goals typically. No. But what they don't come up against, and this is the one thing that's given me a bit of hope, and hopefully the chat feel this as well. How many teams do you see in the Championship go 2 up front? Because I don't. They don't. We are playing a unique style of football. Whether or not it's people say it as direct hoofball, it's not. But people will brand it that because of the 2 strikers and they're big strikers. So we will try and get after Burnley. Not gung ho, but we will try and get after them. Are they used to that? Are they used to teams just going, all right, you can have the ball and play your fancy football, and that's the end of it. So I think it'd be a good game. We'll do predictions later. I can see us scoring a goal. Now, whether or not that's 1 goal is going to be enough on the day, whether or not results are going to go in our favour, I can see us scoring, because at some point we are going to have to go gung ho. We are going to have to go hell for leather. You can see a Maku on, Langstaff on, Aziz on. We may have to do that. So, and I think
Joe would be on if he wasn't in Malta.
Absolutely.
I would be on, but I've been called abroad, unfortunately. I'm on international duty, so otherwise I would be there. Yeah,
but that's what's going to happen, and look, I'm sure we'll do more on the Burnley game. But I'm obviously lucky enough to be going. Steve, I know you are, and I'm sure there's guys in the chat that will. And it might be nervy to start with, but we're here on merit, but no one gives us a chance. No one gives us a hope in hell of going to Burnley and getting a result. We're the last team to beat them in the league. but we didn't concede against them, so we've got nothing to lose. And going into this game as a Millwall fan, I think everybody should realise and get it in their head, that it is amazing that we're even in this conversation and we've got a free hit. This is a free hit. Alex Neil didn't expect to be here. I'm sure James Berylson didn't expect to be here. We didn't. Free hit, go and attack the game and see where you end up. On the goalkeeper position, I think it would be incredibly harsh to drop George Evans after his performance against Swansea. He was phenomenal. He deserved his man of the match. You could see how much it meant to him. However, if Liam Roberts is available, I would be picking Liam Roberts. I think you need to have experience, and I know we might be second guessing, but sometimes the defenders don't look like they fully trust or fully expect Evans to come and get the ball. I feel like there's a little bit of disconnect between the centre halves and Evans at times. With Roberts, I feel like they probably would trust him a little bit more on the day, and in a game that we have to win, I feel like the squad need to be as ready and as prepared as possible. And I think an experienced goalkeeper gives you that. Harsh on Evans, and if he plays, I'm sure he'll give us everything he's got to keep us in with a chance. But for me, if he's available, Roberts has got to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And also to add to that, I think if you're an opposition team and you've got a rookie goalkeeper playing against you, it must lift their strikers, give us a bit of confidence, saying, you know what, shoot on sight. If there's opportunity, go for it, And George Evans made some fantastic saves against Swansea the other week, and rightly so, he was voted man of the match. But my concern, my fear for him being so young is it right to put him under this kind of pressure? It's such an important game when you've got a mature, established goalkeeper in Liam Roberts available potentially to play, who I'm not saying that George Evans can't rise to the occasion, but you like to think Liam Roberts, being a bit of a pro, play around a little bit, done fantastically against Leeds away, didn't he, in the cup that time? I don't know. For me, I think it just edges it. I'd rather have Liam Roberts for me personally, but nothing against George. George has been brilliant,
Just imagine a scenario, right, where Millwall 1-0 up and the results are going in our favour, and it can happen to Roberts. It could have happened to Jensen. It could happen anywhere. But if George Evans makes a mistake, which I'm not suggesting for any moment he will, and if he plays, I'd have full confidence in him after his performance against Swansea. But people talk about confidence, and he's making his way in the game. The pressure. I think it would be unfair, and look, it could go two ways. He could play on Saturday and have the game of his life again. And we will sit here, and I will go.
Really make a name for himself.
Yeah. We got it. I'm happy to say I got it wrong, but it is a lot of pressure on his shoulders. And the defenders, Cooper, Crammer, Tanganga, Sturge, probably, or Brian, they're going to need their goalkeeper on Saturday, and we're going to need him. If it's Evans, it's Evans. But as I said, I think if he's available, it should be Roberts.
Yeah. No, I think
Joe,
sorry, this go.
Can I just say as well, I think if Roberts is fit and therefore he starts Evans and Roberts is on the bench, like Stephen mentions there, I think that puts more pressure on Evans, George, to think, fuck me, I've been chosen, I've got to do the business now. So it's even more pressure.
Do you think that puts more pressure, Disco, or do you think that kind of gives him more confidence?
Yeah, I do. No,
do you not think it gives him more confidence?
No,
in fact, he's been picked over. Liam Roberts.
Of course, he'll feel brilliant and think like, bloody hell, I've got choice over, But I think it also means, hang on a minute, I can't afford to fuck up now at all, and it is a pressurised role.
I get that. I thought. Sorry, just going to interrupt you there. I felt that George Evans looks really nervy against Blackburn, and he just seemed very nervous. I felt nervous for him at times, whereas. In the game against Norwich, he pulled up, one or two, comfortable stuff. It wasn't really under a lot of pressure. We did all right, and that helped grow his confidence. And I think again against Swansea, he pulled some lovely saves off, which built his confidence. Suddenly, he looks a much more competent and confident goalkeeper. So could it just be that maybe he needs a few more games?
He has done nothing wrong to effectively be dropped, and I don't like using that word because it isn't dropped. It's like change of personnel. So there's no issue with that. A few have put in the comments, look, you'd be mad not to use your experienced keeper in such a high pressure game. Got a balance with that. Is Roberts 100% fit? Is he mentally 100% fine? Which I would think he is actually. Steve Morrison mentions earlier, wouldn't it hurt Evans' confidence to drop him after a performance like that on a weekend? Yeah, I get that. With the greatest respect, it ain't a time for sentiment now and all that. And that should be dealt with through good man management, which I trust Alex Neil to have. Deep down, he might not say it, but George Evans will know Liam Roberts is the more experienced and probably the better keeper at this level right now, fit and, like for like. So how can, other than having 3 decent games, or 2 certainly, how can he justify getting the nod? This is a massive game. I'm trying not to think about it because when you do, the magnitude of it is absolutely huge. But I'm sorry, it's no disrespect to George Evans at all. I think he's done brilliantly, and he will go down as, not legend, but like what he's done in these 3 games has been phenomenal. But it's an absolute easy choice for me. If fit, and if his head's right, it's Liam Roberts all day long. And I can't understand how it would be. And look, then that would put pressure on Roberts because he can't afford to cock up. So who'd want to be a fucking keeper? I would not, 100%.
To that point, Disco, and Stephen, I want to get your thoughts on this. So Andy Roberts just come out and said, will Liam handle the massive amount of abuse he'll likely receive all through the game with a packed out turf more? If Liam does play, I can see the Burnley fans targeting him about the Palace incident. That might put him off his game. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
I'm not so sure about that, to be honest. I can't confess to know many Burnley supporters. They're at the other end of the country to me. But I can't see them, he might get booed, but opposition players get that all the time at grounds. I might be wrong. They might absolutely give him dog's abuse if he's around, but I'm not too sure that would play a part. I think Roberts himself, whether it's for Millwall, whether it's for another team next season, whenever he next has a game of football, when he is, not a friendly or under 21s, I'm talking a first team game, he is going to want to get that all out of the system and just play football. And to echo what Steve said, I think it meant if he's mentally okay, I think he will just want to play the game and get on with it and try his best for the team. As I say, whether that's Saturday, whether it's somewhere else, I don't know what's going to happen with him over the summer. I have an idea what's going to happen, but I don't think he'll be here next season. But right now, he's a Millwall player. He's an experienced goalkeeper, and I think he would want to just play the game. And also with Roberts, you talk about pressure, you talk about confidence, you talk about will he be able to handle it. If we're led to believe, and I know, Joe, you were at the end of season awards, and Roberts has said how well he's been treated by the fans. He's received phenomenal support. His family have received support. The club have supported him. Do you not think that he's going to stand there with that Millwall shirt on in goal on Saturday, going, do you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to get this club in the top 6. I will give it my utmost. Not saying that George Evans wouldn't, but I think Liam Roberts might have that in the back of his mind, thinking these guys have stuck by me. These guys have got my back. I'm going to do what it takes, and that's just how I see it. That I don't think he'll be affected by being abused. I think he'll stand there and go, "Come on, in. I'm going to keep you out today."
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. The thought did cross my mind, thinking, is it the right game to put him back in? Is it too soon after what happened? But I think you're right, Stephen. At the end of the day, he's not a young rookie goalkeeper. He's played for many years. He's 30 years old. I think 31 years of old. So I think he can handle it. And you're right. I think he would want to pay his sort of faith back to the Millwall fans, really, and pay him back for them sticking by him and giving the support that he rightly deserves. Just a very quick message here from David Mars. It's always nice to get an update on young Kyle, see how he's getting on. So even gents, we've got news on Kyle's progress. Remember, he plays for Fisher, and they are in the South Kent League. He got moved to Cray Valley, and they are in the Kent Youth League. So onwards and upwards. Well done. So Kyle, in a splint now, lads. Thanks for all your support. Hope he gets better, David, mate. I hope to see him. At least now he'll have the summer to hopefully heal up and not rush it back, will he? And he'll be back nice and strong and fit for pre-season, I'm sure. So send him our best, David. Samuel, I think it will encourage Lee and the fans will sing his name response. Yeah, absolutely. You can imagine the fans really get behind them guys, couldn't you? And support him. Disco, anything you want to add to that situation with regards to the Liam situation? And what's your thoughts on that?
Look, I just reiterate, it is no criticism of George Evans whatsoever. And look, let's not forget, it is quite unbelievable that for these last 3 games, we've not had our first or second choice keeper, a rookie 19-year-old in goal. Okay, Blackburn took us to the sword, but the other 2 games, brilliant. And then, and obviously left back as well. Joe Bryan, arguably the best player in the team or most informed player in the team, out. Sturge has come in and done a brilliant job.
What do you make of Sturge, Disco? What do you make of Sturge?
Like him. I liked him when he first played, and he looks the part, doesn't he? He looks strong, looks technically good and fast. Look, and he fits the bill of what we're looking for. So the only question there is people saying sign him, which I would agree. But then we got Malachi, who you know a lot more about, Joe, than I do. He's supposed to be the real deal, or potentially the real deal. So how do we fit them both in with Joe Bryan?
Yes, good point.
I like Sturge, yeah.
Yeah, that's an excellent point you made. Sorry, go on, Stephen.
Can I just touch on that Adam Malaka? I actually thought he would have a breakout season this year, but he's basically not played football now or any real competitive football for 9 months. I personally think he now needs a loan. I think he may have gone out on loan at the beginning of this season had he not got injured. Yeah. So he goes and gets his experience. You sign Sturge, and then you've got Bryan and Sturge as the 2 for next season. Yeah. Then next summer, Joe Bryan perhaps does move on. He gets his and then you've got Malachi and Sturge. You've got 2 young left backs at the club that are ready to fight for the position.
That's a really good way. A great way of thinking. I quite like that. And like I said, even Malachi, I saw a little bit of him on his under-21s recently when he come on the off the bench, and he looked good. You know, I was worried he's going to lose that bit of yard of pace, but no, he dropped the shoulder, went past the fullback a couple of times, and got crosses in, and he looks class. He looks quality, you know. But like you say, Steve, I think he needs game time. He needs solid game time. Alone away, he won't get it with us, unfortunately, at the moment. Won't be get ahead of Joe Bryan for sure. So I think that will do him the world of good, even if it's just till Christmas. But I think a whole long season will do him the best and the world of good anyway. You know. Lots coming into the chats, guys. So if I'm missing a few that I can't keep up at the moment, it's so through. Yeah, just talk about Leah Roberts again about the death threats he's been getting and stuff like that. It's been absolutely ridiculous. So it's going to be a big call from Alex Neil. Which way he goes, I don't know. But I'm sure wherever he goes with will be the right decision. I do trust Alex Neil, and I do feel that he will be he'll have a tough call to make, but I'm sure it'll be the right one. Talk about Alex Neil, Disco. Just want to sort of praise the team's form, the focus, and obviously he talks very openly about our chances getting a league. So look, we've always been taking one game at a time. We have been doing it for the last how many games, 10, 12 games now. We find ourselves in a situation, he said, and we're now one game away potentially of getting into the playoffs. What do you make of his management style? What is it that he does that you feel that you can see by the way he talks and the way he is and what you heard about him that gets a tune out of our boys at the moment?
Well, look, Joe, I don't want to be wise after the event, but sod it, I will be. I thought he was the right choice at the time. I thought he was a level up from what we've had previously, and I value the managers we've had hugely, especially Bomber, without a shadow of a doubt. But he just seemed, look, his track record is his track record. I feel now, when you look back, he's had an underlying feeling in his gut that we could do all right if things go for us. He's been very uncommitted, hasn't he? Every question from day one. Can you go into the playoffs? Literally, we'll take it game by game, and we want to stay competitive, and we'll see where we land. Deep down, I think he's thought, we can do this, and get on a little run. We can do this. And he's got a confidence in himself because he's gone on record, hasn't he, in saying if we do get in the playoffs, I fancy my chances, and I love that about him. I have to be honest. If I think back when he was a manager against us, I can remember several times watching him do interviews on telly, thinking, "You fucking miserable bias." He seemed to always blame the ref, everything was. And yet for us, and maybe I'm being biased, but I don't think I am, he doesn't seem to be that. He's very honest. He's very open. Now, whether that's he's taken to Millwall and he's thought this is the way I need to manage and I'll be a bit different with my experience and what have you. But he has, hasn't he? He's really, everybody's said he's so calming with his interviews and his comments. He gets a bit overexcited when he does that at the end of a game to the crowd. You think,
but I love a bit of that. I love a bit of that.
You're joking, of course I'm joking, He just does that. You've got all these other wankers going around going, way, all that. I don't want all that nonsense. He's genuine. We've done it, boys. And I'd love to see him in front of us doing that Saturday. So, Joe, I am blown away with the guy. He is top quality. I'm also seeing a change in our patterns of play. We're starting to look a little, not totally revolutionary, but like you said, Stephen, although it's two up front, it's not long ball hit and hope, is it? Far from it. Absolutely far from it. So he's really getting us, and he's really getting a tune out of what he's got. And look, I go back to 2 keepers out, your main left back out, our number one, our highest signing, Negley, who looked the real deal when he came on against Borough, etc., etc. What he's had to deal with, and he's just got on with it, and look where we are. So I've got nothing but admiration for the guy.
Excellent. Cheers at Disco. Stephen, just what your thoughts on Alex Neil, from what you've heard, from what you've seen, and what's your take on him as a manager, and how good job is he doing for us at the moment?
I'm going to go the other way. I was slightly underwhelmed when Alex Neil was appointed manager.
I think a lot of us were, to be fair, weren't we?
Yeah,
I remember feeling that way as well.
I wanted I actually wanted Schumacher at the time. He was out of the 3 that was banded around. I wanted him. And again, I'd like to put on record, I'm pleased I was wrong, because Alex, he's been, well, you can't argue. He's got 37 points from his 22 league games in charge of Millwall. And remember, the first 4 league games were lost, draw against poor sides. Hull, Cardiff and Oxford were the 3 of the 4 sides. That's
when he was finding his feet then, weren't they, to be fair?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, we never got new manager bounce. We never got the new man come in and win. Yeah. So we were on the back. He was on the back foot. He was under pressure. There was a lot of people, saying, "Have we done the right thing? Have we got the right man in for the job? It's not working." But 37 points from 22 games. If my maths is correct, that would see us on average about 75, 76 points over a league season. We would have coasted as playoffs on those numbers. Yeah. He's done a phenomenal job. One thing I would say, and I think it's really important to say this, and I know that some people might not agree, and we were talking about this in the chat earlier on WhatsApp. Neil Harris could have been in this position with this group of players if he swallowed his pride. Unfortunately, I love the guy, and I'm not going to apologise for that. He refused to do it, and he wanted to do it his way, and that was wrong. That was his downfall. Alex Neil has come in, and the board and Jimmy have said to him, "Right, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. This is what we want to see from you." And he's gone, "Yes, boss. Right, I'm on it." And did he really think that Ivanovic was going to turn into this striker that's scoring goals, and winning us games? Who knows? He's never going to come out and say yay or nay. But he has bought into what the board have asked. He's bought into what Gallen wants. He's bought into what Berylson wants, and he's doing something that I desperately wanted to see Gary Rowett do. Gary Rowett could not use the crowd. He could not use the den. No. And I go back to the Middlesbrough game. We were on top in that second half. We were the better side. And instead of settling for that, he went, Femi, on you go. Camille, on you go. Win us the game. And he got us excited and he got us 3 points. So he has been a phenomenal appointment. And I think at this level, we have got someone that A, knows this league, and B, knows how to get out of this league in the right way.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also, just to add to that, guys, I don't know whether you in the chat have seen it. We've done some interviews with current players. Ourselves and other podcasts have been invited by Mill Football Club, Max McKellen, the media guy there, to allow us to sort of spend 20 minutes, half hour with players. We did an interview with Jake Cooper a couple of weeks ago. We did one with Casper De Noor today, which will be released, I believe it's like Friday or Saturday, but we all got to do it together. All the podcasts will release it all in one go. And I was fortunate to do a Cooper one, which I really enjoyed doing. And I was also did the Casper one today. And one thing that I noticed they both sort of picked up on was the attention to detail that Alex Neil does prior to games. And I've heard a lot of people say that in the club about how he spends hours and hours, watching games or positions. What he tends to do, and I think Casper mentions it by giving too much away. Obviously, that's going to be out soon, so you guys in the chat will watch it. But it just a small little spoiler here. He just talked about how Alex Neil will watch back every single game at Millwall game after the game's played. He'll watch the whole game back again, looking at all the good, the bad, the ugly. Prior to a next game, he will watch the opposition's game, not their last game. He'll watch their last 3, 4, 5 games. That's how thorough. This guy spends hours and hours and hours researching, looking at opposition teams. Yeah, and he's doing that throughout the day. And he prepares his team so well that they're set up come Saturday or Wednesday night, whatever it might be, for that opposition, know exactly how they're going to treat that game, what the game plan is. And that is incredible. Yeah, I don't know if all managers do that. It's the first I've heard of it, to go through that length, Stephen, and that amount of work and effort to try and get the best out of that game. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, hearing that?
I think it goes to show that he was the right man for the job. I think we're now driven by data. Well, the world is driven by data. Everybody wants that, but we're using so much more behind the scenes to sign players, to sign or even bringing coaches to even everything we do is data driven. And Alex Neil clearly feels that his best way to prep us for opposition is to watch the opposition. I know it sounds stupid, but not once, not twice, 3, 4, 5 times. It just, as I said, I think it goes to show that he is a proper manager in a proper team. And I also think that there's a little bit a hint of with Alex Neil that I think he might feel he's been hard done by at other clubs in the past. Okay, he didn't help himself by jumping ship one time, I think perhaps with Sunderland. But I think
sorry to interrupt you there, but even for his reasons for doing that, I don't know if you heard him say it. The reason why he did it, he got them promoted from League One to the Championship. He done a fantastic job. The first manager to get Sunderland back up after 4 or 5 years of trying. He asked for a slight pay rise to get in line with the Championship managers. Apparently, Sunderland said no, and they turned him down a couple of times. Stoke come knocking, offer him like double his money, and he went for it. You can't really blame him for that, can you?
No, and I know that the thing is, there's no loyalty in football, unfortunately, anymore, and that you have to take that into consideration. But as I say, I think he's been hard. I think he feels hard done by the way that he's perhaps things have gone at other football clubs, and I think he's looked at Millwall and gone, "This is a club that And I know we're biased here, but perhaps should be doing a little bit better than what we were at the time of his appointment." Okay, I'm not saying that we're not entitled. We're not saying that we should be winning the league, but perhaps we should have been doing a little bit better. And he's just needed to change a few things. And I go back to his first interview. He didn't say he wasn't going to make massive changes. He wasn't going to, rewrite the book, reinvent the wheel. It was small things to try and improve us. And if you look at us prior to Christmas and look at us now, the small changes that he has implemented have improved us massively. And he's seen it from afar, and now he's doing it in the hot seat.
Yeah, absolutely. Disco, just
Joe,
before
Joe,
we wrap.
can I just say there? I think I missed it. Somebody mentioned, was it Joe Sardella or someone said about what happened at Plymouth then? And look, he's right. Look, nobody's bloody perfect, and let's not try and kid ourselves. I'm not saying Alex Neil is perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and I think he put his hands up after that game, didn't he? And said,
I
look,
think just to add to that, I think. Well, he got that wrong, and he admitted he got it wrong because he wasn't expecting Plymouth to play 5 across the midfield.
Yes.
And because the extra player overran us in midfield, he got it wrong, and he held his hand up for that, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think was that the game where he said afterwards he's got to kind of dial it down a little bit because he's trying for us to be a bit too expansive, and we kind of got caught short a little bit, didn't we? Yeah. Sorry.
Correct. So look, he's not, and look, God forbid, could go pear-shaped on Saturday. And sometimes managers that are that intense, as you're saying, Joe, when they get on a sort of, I presume, get into a, right, that's going to be my game plan, and that's what if they miss something or if something else happens, it can go pear-shaped. But you can't knock the guy for what he's done and how so far successful he's been. It just seems a really, really good fit. And I think he's just, look, you're saying there, Stephen, he's probably looked and thought, they should be doing better than they are. I think possibly a bit of that. I think what a lot of these good people do, they join Millwall, don't they? And both backroom staff, fans, players, the whole club, they say, what a fucking club this is. It's like unique in many, many ways, good and bad in some respects, but more good. There's really good people. And I think he said in an interview, not for us, I think it was the interview when he said about why he went to Stoke. I think he said there, you've got to have a plan. As a club, you've got to have a plan of what you're doing and where you're going. And I think he must have sat down in an interview with James and probably Gallen or whoever else. And no, probably, what's his name? Fellow with the beard. Sorry, name
Mark Fairbrother.
Yeah, Mark Fairbrother, exactly. Yeah. And he's interviewed with them, and he's thought, I like this. These guys have got a plan here, and I think I can tune into that. And look, everybody stand by your bunks. There will be bad times as well as good times. But let's be honest. Somebody put it in the chat. What a time to be a Millwall fan. I was telling a Burnley fan earlier. I said, we are really, forget what happened Saturday. We're in a really good place right now, and it's a real good club to be involved with and excited about the future. However, this is a massive opportunity. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. We have to grab it. If we get any chance to take it, we have to bloody grab it because it's huge. And I don't want to think about it because it's massive.
I know. And even Alex S here mentions as well, and he holds himself accountable when he gets things wrong. I love that. And he says that. You've heard him say, that's on me. That's on me. That's my fault, I just love his man management style, guys. I just love the way, you look at the days of Wright when he was in charge. Look when Jones was in charge. Look when Harris in charge. And they had their favourites, but you can kind of work out who the ones they didn't really like. There were certain players that kind of got drafted out or were left out in the cold. Well, you look at Alex Neil and his people management skills, the way he is with the players, the way he connects with them all, even the ones that aren't even playing, they suddenly still feel part of it. And he's got a fantastic way of kind of bringing the whole team together. And I think the performances of late have shown that, as one of the guys said in the chat earlier, we're second in the league, in the form league from the last 10 games, just behind Burnley, who are going for an incredible run. And that's a credit to Alex Neil. What he's done with our group of boys is remarkable. It's incredible. And I, for one, I'm really looking forward to next season because give him a transfer window in the summer. It's sad to see a few players move on, and we will touch on that in a minute, but there will be a few players that will be moved on, which will then create space for wages, which means we can then try and attract and cherry pick some other players who can add to this team, add to this squad, and make us even stronger for next season, under his stewardship. Go on, Disco. I think you want to say something,
yeah? Yeah. Your point about favourites. If you think back and look, because I'm probably watching more games on TV than actually at the game under you guys, it was very often at the end of the game, he and George Saville would be talking, coming off the pitch and having a chat and a bit of a... And I thought to myself, George is his favourite there, and understandably he's a leader on the pitch and all that. But then you notice he dropped him, or I don't like using that word, dropped him. He changed the team.
He
was
rested
happy
him
to put Billy in for a while and put George on the bench. George come on and done a great job as an impact sub, etc. Now he's come back in and he's had 2 great games. So
brilliant.
It just proves look, even if George is his favourite, he's been prepared to say, for the team right now, it's right for me to bring Billy in, who played out of his skin, by the way. So, I agree with you on that, Joe. He hasn't got that in his locker. He's very much about the team for me.
Yeah. I also think, just on that, and we talk about Saturday and the opportunity and everything, what happens on Saturday is not going to define how good of a job Alex Neil has done for us.
Correct. I
think that's the really important thing to come away from this, because let's be honest, I don't want to put the mockers on it, but the footballing world will be back in Burnley to win the game on Saturday. They just will, because they've not lost in a league since November. They got, I don't think they've lost at home all season. It's just countless records that go tumbling. Alex Neil we won't be defined on his, and he won't be judged.
Correct.
Because on Saturday, I think his tactics and his game plan is going to go out the window. Because if we need a goal, as I said earlier, we're going to go hell for leather, and you're going to go back to the Ian Holloway days of having 7 up front to try and get us a goal in games, and he won't, and no one will care, because we'll have to do that. We will have to.
As long as Mehrhofer doesn't come off the bench, then I'm happy with that.
But
absolutely.
It's in our hands. It is in our hands. The disappointing thing, I think one of the guys in the chat mentioned earlier, the difficult thing is, and I hope this doesn't happen, we get a result against Burnley, but then both Coventry and Bristol City also get a result as well. And that's the sad part, because we can do it. I believe we've got it in our locker to go and get a win out there, but it's what the others do, unfortunately. And this goes back to other performances we mentioned earlier.
I'm gonna tempt fate here and again, I'm really sorry to the guys in the chat for putting this out there now, but I'm gonna say this now: Coventry are not going to win on Saturday. Their heads are gone. Their heads are absolutely gone. I looked at some of their forums and on social media. Their fans are absolutely petrified of the game on Saturday. They're not looking forward to it. They don't think they've got any chance of making the top 6. They think they're going to fall at the final hurdle. So I don't think Coventry are going to win on Saturday. Now, that doesn't mean I think anything different about what's going to happen with us or what's going to happen to Blackburn, because they're still in with a shout. And obviously Middlesbrough, if they beat Coventry, will go above them on goal difference. So they're still in with a shout. So there's plenty of twists and turns, but Coventry I don't think are going to win, which will mean obviously that if we do get a result, then we will be in the top 6. And then, as I say, the last 20 minutes on Saturday, providing we're still in the game, is going to be an absolute humdinger of a game of football, because they could be on for the league title. We could be trying to get in the top 6, and I genuinely see it going right down to the wire.
Because let me add, it's a good point, Stephen. Sorry, Joe. Let me add there. I wouldn't be surprised if Plymouth give Leeds a surprise as well. They're a good home side, aren't they, as we know? I've got a Plymouth fan at work, and he's been saying to me for weeks that they would go down. He said, but we'll beat Leeds on the last day. He said, you wait and see, we'll beat Leeds no matter what. So
apparently,
as you say, Stephen, there's going to be so many things going on.
Well, there's a lot going on. Apparently, there's 8 matches this Saturday that could end up, relegations, promotion. There's a lot on it. It's a massive fixture this Saturday.
I've got on my screen, so you've got Bristol City, Preston will determine the playoffs and relegation. You've got Burnley, Millwall, playoffs and the league title. Coventry, Middlesbrough is for the playoffs. Derby, Stoke, obviously Derby can still go down. Plymouth, Leeds for the title.
And relegation.
well, Plymouth need like a 14-goal swing, but yeah.
Oh, is it mathematically?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right,
mathematically, yeah. But Portsmouth, Hull can still get out of Hull can still get out, can get relegated. Sheffield United, Blackburn, obviously Blackburn are going for the
they want to get in
top
there, don't
6
they, as well? Yeah.
And then you've got West Brom and Luton is the only other game really. But you got what that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 games that have got something on it in the chat. It's the best league in the world, and people who don't know and people that support your Man Uniteds and your Arsenals and stuff. And I say this all the time to people that don't know. If you follow a championship team and you follow the championship, you get value for money and you get value as a supporter because it is so good. It's just brilliant.
Absolutely.
If they marketed it like they do the Prem on Sky, it would be off the scale. But they play with it, really, don't they? You know, as you say.
I think it'll come. At the moment, I mean, this year has been a big year for Sky. They're publicising a lot of the games, and
they still play with it. They play with it in the analysis and all that. And no offence, ladies, but we do get all the the female commentators and co-hosts and etc. Sorry, ladies, Rosalind, if you're on, I'm not abusing women at all, but some of them are not that great. You know, some of them decent, but not that great. Anyway, let's not go there. Joe, let me throw one out there, slightly off tack, and we could put it in the chat. Does anybody, you two, and does anybody think outside of the keeper, we're going to get any surprise selections either in the team or on the bench? Because I've got a little feeling the way things have gone, we might get a surprise or two. Somebody put something in earlier about someone, and I wouldn't mind.
Is it this one?
Yes, but I'm not thinking. I might be way off. But I got a feeling there might be like Honeyman. Honeyman came out of the bloody wilderness. Didn't
so Billy Mitchell's injured. Isn't
Billy Mitchell's gone, I think. Yeah,
so he's probably done for the season. Bangura Williams, we think he's done for the season.
Is he though? Is he done?
Well, I think they could play him, but by doing so, I think it could be rushing him back too soon a little bit. So it's that kind of risk.
I'm talking bench probably rather than team.
Yeah,
but bench.
No, but even so, if you're on the bench, you're fit to play, ain't you? You know, and I think someone like Bangura Williams, although I'd love to see him in the team, if he's not right and he's not 100%, and it could make the injury worse, or make him have a backward step in his recovery, then I don't think it's a good idea to risk him, don't you?
No. Is Negley a definite no?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
definite.
Yeah. I'll say
so. The one thing I would say,
what do you know? Say that we don't. Has he been playing golf again on an 18 hole? Is he or what?
Someone that's just been mentioned in the chat is AJ Matthews.
Yeah.
Now he's made the bench a couple of times. I can still
he scored
Alex
today,
Neil,
didn't he, as well?
Yeah, he chipped a penalty, a Panenka which was. I mean, I wouldn't want him to do that in a first team game, but he's got confidence clearly.
Great finish, to be fair though.
Neil will have a defender, maybe a couple on the bench, and a midfielder, so you've got cover for whatever. But he's going to go with attackers because he knows he's probably going to need a goal. Again, I'm not tempting fate. I'm not going to go over the top with it. But someone like Matthews, someone like Langstaff, who's the forgotten man. He's not done anything really in a Millwall shirt. You know, being honest, someone like that is going to get an opportunity to come on and make themselves a hero. And I wouldn't rule anything out of Saturday. We could get absolutely trounced. We really, really could. But on the flip side to that, we could go there and defy the odds. And as I say, someone could make themselves a hero in we'll probably play in the grey on Saturday. So I would say in blue, but it won't be.
There's old chaps in there. Look.
Yeah. I think as somebody said earlier.
Chaps, come on, chaps, if you want to. Jump on for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If the missus allows you. Tell her Joe said, can Chris come out to play for a little bit?
For 5 minutes.
I'm sure if you tell her that, I'm sure Sophie will say it's okay.
Yeah, she will.
God, discuss. Sorry, mate.
I forget where was I going with that. I can't remember.
Sorry, mate, I lost your train of thought there, didn't I?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's the right thing to do.
Is it there?
Mrs. said no. Brilliant. At least he's honest. Oh, I can't remember what I was going to say there. Christ. Sorry.
Don't worry. If it comes back to you, we'll discuss it. But let's move on, guys. Just very, very quickly, I want to talk about the.
Oh, sorry, Joe. I have just remembered. Somebody said it earlier, and they're right. Much as I'm thinking about Saturday and thinking, "Fuck, what a game to have!" Top of the league, haven't lost all that. But like somebody said, would you want to be going for this sort of game, Oxford away? Knowing us, and I know we're a different Millwall right now.
Yeah,
knowing
right.
us, would you want to be? No, let's go where the odds are against us.
We will fuck up against a team that was supposed to win. You're absolutely spot on.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. And I,
nothing to lose.
Like I think one of you guys said it earlier. We can either win this or get spanked 5-0, can't we? But I fancy our chances. And there you go, Jeff said it. This goes right. Have Sky Sports News on most days. It's all about the Premiership. There you go. Couple of old men moaning together.
Sorry, ladies.
No, but you're right though. I think when our backs against the wall and we've got a tough task ahead of us, I think we seem to kind of deliver, don't we, more often than not.
Just on that, I just looked it up. I saw that comment about the Langstaff. It's 42-1 for Millwall to win 1-0, Langstaff to score in 90 minutes.
Is that all?
It's 42-1.
To 1.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You should have got more odds on that, but yeah, I'll take it. No. There you go. Mrs. says no. Pussy. Steve Jeffrey. Nice one. So just going through the chats very, very quickly, guys. So look, I mean, again, we discussed lots there. We talked about our run-in, our late surge into the potential of the playoffs. We touched on the Burnley. I want to talk about the kind of tactical analysis of how we're playing at the moment. We talk about playing two up front, and some people question: is it a 4-4-2? Is it a diamond midfield that we're playing at the moment with two up front? It's an unusual formation because we've seen 4-4-2 at them before with two wide wingers. We don't really play that sort of way. It's almost like the midfielders play very, very narrow, don't they? In a narrow sort of 4-4-2. Makes us very, very compact, and we kind of play very sort of direct, I guess. But it's working, isn't it, Disco?
Look, of course it's working. Yeah, it is, Joe. And you're right. It's not a traditional 4-4-2 two wingers style, is it? Obviously Aziz, and what a player he's turned out to be this season. And let's hope he has a great game on Saturday. So I think you're right. Look, I think there was rumours that Sheffield United was more of a diamond. I think you've thought we've played the diamond at the Den. I'm not so sure we have, but you're right. They play very narrow, don't they? And what that mainly... Because
even sorry to interrupt there, Disco, but even Aziz, he occupies that left side. But you see, when we haven't got the ball, he plays very, very central, very, very tight, very compact.
Correct.
Is anyone when we got the ball that he then attacks, he goes wide and goes, doesn't he? So
Correct. No, you're spot on right. And the big standout is Kramer at right back, isn't it? We just had...
So look at that comment there. Stephen.
Evans.
Can you check the Sky Sports and find out what it is for me get the winner on Saturday? Even though I know we're going to be in the country, I reckon I'll get better odds than Langstaff, I'll tell you.
Oh, dear.
I think if we put that in, they'd give us the deeds to the company would be the odds on Joe Zampa scoring.
It'd be lower odds than Langstaff, trust me. It really will. The one they will. I did joking, Macca, if you're watching. But no,
I think the big thing there, Joe, is the space that Kramer gets as right back, attacking right back. Acres of space, and he's been doing really well, making the most of it. The only disappointment is he's got to hit the target with those couple of the one he tried to cross in for Koba was terrible in the end. But the one at the end, the shot, I mean, even sort of kicked it strangely instead of just lacing it or even side footing it into a corner.
But then remember, Kramer's a centre. We're talking about Cram here, sorry.
Yeah.
But again, we forget he's a centre half, isn't he? The fact he's doing a job at right back is good enough. The fact we're asking him to score down the right side is
Joe, he is the French. He is the French wonder man. He can do anything.
Here you go, Stato. Craig's WhatsApp just asked, we need some stats from the stats man. Come on, Stato.
All right, give me 5 minutes.
Get your finger out. Get your finger out. Give some stats.
Positive ones.
Yes.
And look, I'd throw that in. I wouldn't say we've got a great record at Burnley, but I think we've got an okay record. We've certainly seen us win there a couple of times, seen us lose, seen us draw. So I like it when we go to places where we've got a history of getting a reasonable result. You think if we were going to Norwich away, pack your bags, guys, and forget it. So
absolutely. Just seen Ben's comment then, Disco. Just seen Ben's comment. Has Joe ever scored at Millwall?
Stay on.
Has Joe ever scored at the Den? Come on! Come on!
You have the facility to ban people in the chat. Can we just ban that video? Can we just get it copyrighted or something?
But the public want to see it, Stephen. There's not many people who can say they've gone to the Den and scored.
Can you imagine 2 minutes before the bell goes to go out on the pitch at Turf Moor on Saturday, and old Neil said, "Right, I want you to watch this video before. I want you to believe." The big thing is you've got to believe. And he could get the video.
That might give him confidence.
You might think he's a total knob and could never hit a barn door, but I'm telling you, look what he could do.
Exactly. You too could have that feeling. You too could be as happy as Joe Zampa there. Go out there and get that fucking winner. Exactly. That's it. Chat is absolutely exploding tonight, guys. We've got 250 of you in the chat, and it's so good to have you with us. But I just can't keep up with the comments. So it's good to have them come through. So apologies if I can't read them all, but I'm putting them up on the screen so you can see them. Stato, any stats there, Stato?
I'm hoping. I'm just trying to put. I don't think our record at Turf Moor is particularly great.
Really?
No. Just looking at it,
Stephen.
Although to be fair, we haven't really played Burnley an awful lot. Obviously, with their exploits we haven't played them an awful lot. I think we've lost our last two at Turf Moor, but to be honest with you, and it's not a cup game, and we can't treat it like a cup game.
Cheeky fucker!
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
But
thank fuck they got VAR.
I don't think. I think the game.
Jordan Archer in goal. Sorry, Stato.
I don't think stats. I don't think form. I don't think anything really is going to come into the game on Saturday. I really don't. So we haven't played them enough really to put anything together. And if anybody, the last time we played them, we beat them. So we take the edge this season because we beat them at the Den. So, guys, someone else. It's being rearranged, isn't it, Joe? The fans' games this year, but someone else has got to score in one of these games to stop this because it's relentless.
Well, I'm playing again this season, so it's scheduled for the 6th of May. Although we get into the playoffs, that will be postponed. So if we don't get into the playoffs, guys, and you're bored, or you live local, and your fans coming down watching me score again at the Den, get your ass down to the Den on the 6th, and I'll show how it's done.
Ours was supposed to be this week on Thursday, but they've had to postpone it because obviously the pitch.
Exactly, you're the younger ones. We're the slightly older group.
You based on that video, you play walking football, right?
What are you talking about? That was quick. That was slowed down. That was slowed down. That's not
okay. All right, slowed down. All right.
No respect for ages there, eh? Goodness.
No,
terrible.
Exactly.
Terrible.
Right. So, guys, next part is the away tickets, guys. Travel support. So Burnley, apparently it's sold out. But I'm hearing there could be some more tickets available. Disco, Steve. I don't know if you heard anything about that. Any rumours going around, but we've got a big support, almost 2,000 tickets sold, they're selling, but I think there's some being kept back that can be released. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow. Any thoughts on that, or even the chat, guys? Have you heard anything different to that at all?
It would surprise me that the only thing with it is that they're all digital tickets, aren't they? Or you print them yourself at home. You don't actually get a physical ticket for the game. Yeah. So I would be surprised if, based on the fact that the game is, if they release them tomorrow, it's only a couple of days. I certainly think that if Millwall have got any tickets available, people will buy them. That they'll go very, very quickly. But I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if any were released now, because Burnley. Let's face it, Burnley could still win the league, couldn't they? So they're going to want their fans in the ground. It's not like I think Norwich and Cardiff. I know Norwich are not particularly having a great season, but I saw online that Cardiff have basically sent back half of their allocation and said we're not bringing anyone, so you might as well have them for your own supporters.
Really, bloody hell!
So
guys, before I forget, sorry guys, David Turner, thank you so much. You're a bit late tonight, David, but I'll let you off. And also to Mark, yes, please, guys, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. If you click on the subscribe button, little bell, you can even click on, I think it's called the reminders or something. You get alerts. So every time there's a live or there's a video being posted, you'll get a little notification letting you know that we're live or there's video posted. But yeah, please like this channel, this show. It all helps with the algorithms. If you've been hiding under a rock or you're new to this channel, first time you've been with us this evening, everything we make for this channel goes to Cancer Research UK. So far, and it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I'm guessing it's sort of somewhere over $9,000, isn't it, guys, at the moment that we've raised Research UK. And it hasn't ended yet. This is still going to carry on, I'm guessing, over the next sort of couple of weeks, hopefully over the playoffs as well. So lots and lots of money raised for Cancer Research UK, and it's all done, thanks to you guys. You guys are the reason why we've made so much money for Cancer Research UK. So thank you so much, and please like and subscribe. That's it. So sorry guys. So with regards to Burnley, so Disco, you're going as well, aren't you? And Stephen.
Yeah, it's a nice local one for me. Blackburn's the closest, but Burnley's about 40 minutes away. So sorry to everybody travelling bloody miles up. It's a local one for us. Sorry about that, but definitely be there. Joe, you said about tickets. I'm not sure about that. I was talking to a Burnley fan earlier, and he said theirs is a sellout. And I said,
was it?
I think what it was they said our initial allocation of 1,900, didn't they? And then you think, we're going to get some more. And it's never materialised. And he said to me, look, I don't think you'll get any more, because obviously they, as Stephen says, they want to fill it with their own fans. They're going for the title, and the record, or to get 100 points. I mean, it's bloody unbelievable when it going for 100 points. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But it's incredible just to have, it's not an easy trip to Burnley. It's like 4.5 hours, I think, to get there. And the fact we've got 2,000 fans making the effort to get up there, it's remarkable. It is incredible, and if I wasn't going to Malta for this football tour that I've been scouted for, I would definitely laugh at that, Stephen. I wasn't going to this Malta I've been scouted for. I would be going to Burnley, and I'm gutted.
I
have
heard
that the walking football community in Malta is growing. It is growing.
not fast enough. Get it?
On the subject of traveling, we all know that we do, sometimes come out for the really important games, that the ones that mean something. The support is very, very good. I feel like the players, again, and I know that not everyone shares the same sentiment as me, and everyone, does their own thing, whatever they do throughout the game, if they leave early or whatever. The players deserve a good following on Saturday. They deserve to be 100%. to be sent off for the summer with a good reception. Obviously, there could be disappointment. Personally, and I don't know, this is a question for the guys in the chat, and back to you two, Joe. I'll ask you first. But if we don't make it on Saturday, are we really going to be disappointed? is it really going to be a disappointed Phil that we haven't done it, or is it a case of we give it our best shot? What do you think?
I've got I know it sounds bad, but in my head, we're not going to do it. And I felt that way against Swansea as well, so I had low expectations and I was, pleasantly surprised and wrong to think that. But I'm just going the same way. I'm going to treat it as another game. Whatever happens, as that song went, que sera, sera. Whatever it be will be. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, you know what? It's been a fantastic season. I love the fact we're looking upwards rather than looking downwards like we did the season before. And you just got to take it on the chin. So you know what? Great season. I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to next season. I really am looking forward to the players coming back, the likes of Negley getting the season under his belt, Crammer playing, all these players are coming back, plus any new additions as well. I think it's going to be really exciting next season. So whatever happens, for me, it's a win-win. Personally. What do you think, Disco?
Joe, I'm going to finish your song. We're going to Wembley. Que sera,
sera. Will be.
Look, joking aside, I like you, and it's not glass half empty at all.
No,
the realist in me is thinking probably not quite got enough in the locker to get there, but I don't want to tempt fate. Somebody put in our chat this week, it does feel like the stars are aligning a little bit and things have happened, haven't they, that you think, Christ, didn't expect that to happen. Go to Blackburn, get tonked, we're out of it. Then we go and win. And teams, look at Coventry. 9 wins. Was it 9 wins on the bounce? And suddenly they've gone to pot. Middlesbrough gone to pot. Everybody seems to be falling over themselves. And you think, Jesus Christ, we are seriously in with a chance. It's massive. I do think it worries me a little, whilst I'm in your camp, and I think everybody is, look, if we don't make it, we'll go again next season and we're definitely in the top 6. I'd be careful with that because it's not easy, and it's look, I'd expect us to do really well for all the reasons we've said all night, but it's not easy. So I'm not saying we won't, we have got to grab this opportunity. This is a real opportunity. I think, like Stephen said, the worst scenario is that we win and don't get in. That would be awful. But then it would just be meant to be. I think, like Stephen said, I can't see that happening. I think if we win, we would get in.
I think if we win and we get in, I think we'll win the playoffs.
Well,
that's one thing that I will be. I will be very, very bullish on. At the moment, in my head, I'm thinking we're not going to make the playoffs. If we do, fantastic. But once we get through on Saturday, if we do get through, in my heart, we're going to win the playoffs. Because I fancy us against Bristol City, Sunderland, Sheffield United. I fancy us against any of those teams, to be honest with you. I like this comment here from Nick Callaghan. Nick, hope you're well, mate. The odds are against us, but we can look forward to a new season in the Championship with the greatest optimism for a very long time. And he's absolutely spot on with that. Really is,
I think
I agree. I'm just nervous, Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah.
With Saturday, and a comment's come up that I'll say it now because a comment's come. This one here.
Yeah.
Our defenders over the years, we have had a track record, and I'll reel a couple off. So Paul Robinson at Wembley scored the goal that got us promoted in the playoffs. Sean Hutchinson scored the goal that got us into the playoffs. Without him, we wouldn't be here today, really, because you never know what would have happened to the club. Murray Wallace scored the goal against Everton that sent us absolutely, bonkers in the FA Cup. Japhet Tanganga scored against Birmingham last year in what was a must-win game to try and keep us in the division. Our defenders step up when it really, really counts. As much as I would love to sit here and say that it's Jake Cooper's time. I would love to do that. It's Tristan Crammer's time.
You reckon?
It's Tristan. It's Tristan.
He's got from Stanley Steven to Mystic Meg. Brilliant! I love it.
It's Tristan Crammer's time. He is destined. He is destiny. That he was meant to play football for this. He was meant to play football for this club.
And when he played for Exeter City, I know it's league below or 2 leagues below, but he scored 3 or 4 goals in that season. And they've said how good he is and how effective set pieces. And he's got close a couple of times. And Stephen, I like your thinking there. So guys, What's the odds for that? 1-0 win with Crammer scoring the winner. I'd love to see what that is.
Hold on.
Born agent.
Also,
before you do it though, Stephen, in the chat, is it less or more than Langstaff? What's Langstaff?
It has to be. It has to be because he's a defender. It has to be.
More,
but there's a couple of comments.
I reckon it's lower odds.
100.
There's a couple of comments that are saying Sean Cummins against Leicester is another one. Big Wes scored against Crystal Palace. So our defenders really do, really do step up in these big games. You know, I'd love it to be the Serb. Of course, I'd love it to be the Serb. But you know, hold on. So we got So correct score.
There you go.
Yeah. Could be massive, couldn't it? Could be massive.
250 to 1. Millwall to win 1-0. Tristan Crammer. Any touch to score the goal.
I'll have a fiver on that. I will have. In fact, I shouldn't say anything because the odds will go down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. Honestly, that's worth a cheeky fiver. That is.
It is worth a punt. Isn't it?
That comes off. What's that? 1250, isn't it? It's like that's a decent return.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
No, you can't underestimate how difficult it's going to be. And look, we're all sat here and we are in a good mood because the football club has given us hope. They've given us everything this season, and none of us deep down, if you was to ask every single person in the chat and all of us who do the podcast, everybody that was at the ground on Saturday, are we going to Burnley and winning next weekend? I'd say 90% of them are going to go, I think we're going to fall short. We're in such a good position as a fan base to be going on the last day we've got nothing to lose. We're gonna throw the kitchen sink at it, and it's fantastic. We joke, look, if Tristan Crammer scores the winner
I'm putting a fiver on now before all these fuckers in the group in the chat get better than me. I can see it happening. By the time this ends, I go on there and from what was it 100 to 1?
250. 200. That's on 1-0. If you
that's
don't
go down to about 100 to 1 because all these fuckers in the chat, they've all put the bet on. Honestly.
I did have a look. If you don't want to do a score line, if you just put Millwall to win, so it can be anything, and Tristan Crammer to score, it's 80 to 1. That's any result.
It's got to be a 1-0, surely. I can't see it being anything more than that.
Well, you never know. You never know. Look, 1-1 going into the last minute.
Fred up there.
George Saville swings in a corner, and that big Frenchman gets his head on it, and the away end goes absolutely nuts. But look, as I say, I think it's really important and I think everybody here knows we just want the players to give it one more go. Give us everything you've got. If they beat us, they beat us. Fair play. If we win the game, amazing. I think if we win the game, we'll get in. But there's no pressure. There's no expectation. From me anyway. It's probably the only time I'm going to a game of football in my life, and I'm thinking to myself, free it really is a free hit today. And that's you're right, Steve. It is a big opportunity, and you can't just sort of throw caution to the wind and go, oh, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters, but it really is a free hit, and I think we just have to go there and enjoy it as much as we can.
Trust me, I'm 100% in that corner or that camp. And what I'd say as well is, and I really hope, don't want to be negative, if we do come up short, I hope we don't get the boo boys coming out with, oh, you bottled it. No. I think, like you say, there's a real, pump your chests out, and the guys, you have done us absolutely proud, and the future is hugely positive. And I'm not saying we won't do well next year. I really do think we will. We can't just expect it. It's a tough league, and we've done so well to get where we are. If we've any opportunity of winning it, we need to grasp it, and take it. And I've got in my 2 recent away games, sadly, Sunderland thought we were disappointing. Blackburn, very disappointing, understandably, because of personnel. But Sunderland was a bit of a flat performance, wasn't it, as well? So I don't want to be negative, but look, we are where we are. We've done great, and I'll add your bet in there, Joe. What about a Liam Roberts penalty save in the 90th minute as well? Imagine that.
1-0 Crammer, 251, fiver. Job done.
I've got the away game that I've got in my mind, that I don't want us to necessarily play this way, because I think Burnley will be very, very good and better than what this side were. But when we went to Watford, Joe, you were there. I know we saw each other before the game. When we went to Watford, the first half we were quite poor, in truth be told. But second half they come out and they really showed that they wanted it that day. And I don't want us to be poor in the first half. I don't want us to be under pressure or on the back foot. But I can see a Watford type, maybe nervy first half, not wanting to make mistakes, not wanting to be brave. And then all of a sudden in that second half, just coming to life and really giving it their all to get the goal.
Yeah. Here's one for you. If it is, as a lot of saying, 1-0, which seems the favourite sort of score, would you want to go 1-0 up early and hold on, or get a late? What?
I don't know if
what would your nerves say?
I couldn't care less.
Either way, it's going to be hard, isn't it? You know.
If you're giving me a 1-0 win on Saturday, I don't care how it comes. Do what you like.
No, exactly. Because either way, it's horrible. Sure. If we score early, we've got to go the whole game. I mean, it felt like that at Swansea, didn't it? You go 1-0 up, you need that second goal to kill it off, and it's horrible. You're hanging on to that 1-0, you know. But like you say, either way it happens. As long as we get it, then that's the most important thing, isn't it? I suppose. You know, at the end of the day.
That's the point. Andy Roberts spot on. Yeah, as Stephen said as well. Nothing to lose. All to gain. All to gain.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you what. The players are up for it. Alex Neil's up for it. The players are up for it. You know, they're looking at this with optimism. You know, we've been positive. They're not scared. You know, Zian Fleming can't play because, like I said, he's our player. Technically, he's on loan before they buy him in the season. So that's it. Also, talk about Zian Fleming. I don't know if you guys seen Richard Cowley sort of talk about, you know, the ins and outs of the deal, and that, you know, we've got £7 million. It's a flat fee, and there's no add-ons if they get promoted, whatever. I've heard from a source of mine, and without naming names, and it will be revealed in time, that there is actually more money coming our way, and it's to do with certain things going forward. But there is money coming our way. I won't say anything more, but just to restore a little bit of faith and comfort in the Millwall fan base. So I know a lot of fans are thinking, well, you know, we've got £15 million for SA. We've only got £7 million for Fleming. He's been brilliant for Burnley. He's got them like scoring goals. Yeah, that seems like a bit of a piss take. Well, the club have done a decent deal. Like I said, it's not been out there yet, and it will be revealed soon. But the club have done a really good deal on this one, and yeah, without saying too much more, there is a bit more money coming our way. So I'm sure that'll all be revealed in time anyway.
I assume it will be, I mean, without, obviously we're not going to go into details because we don't fully know everything, but I assume would it be maybe on if he scores in the Premier League, if he plays 10 games in the Premier League, those kind of trigger points could be that, you know, we say, right, as soon as he's played a certain amount of games as a Premier League player, you owe us an extra 250k or whatever. I
wish I can say, but I can't say at the moment. Like I said, it'll all be revealed, but you kind of got an idea, haven't you? It's basically what happens going forward, basically, and whatever happens, you know, we get some money, and the good thing is, yeah, the club have done a really good deal on this one. So hopefully that gives a few more quid to spend in the summer, hopefully.
I've always maintained I think it was a good deal, you know, at the time. You know, I maintain it was a good deal. Yes, we could have got 12 the previous season. I didn't want him to go then. I thought 15 and I'd have let him go. We held on, and then he had a poor season, really. And I don't think, look, he's a lovely guy. I've got no bad words about the guy, but don't think his heart was in it. So I thought it was the right move at the time, and it's proved it. It's done well for him. It's gone great for us. So move on, you know. And let's hope. I can't believe there isn't some add-ons, you know, that we'll get a little bit more money. That's for sure.
Yeah. Nice. Like I said, all be revealed. But like I said, just to give a bit of comfort to the fans, there is, you know, a bit more money coming our way, which is excellent, which is really good. Right, so I think we've reaching the 90 minutes mark. 2 minutes, and then we've got injury time. So Anything you want to say, boys, before we wrap things off ahead of Saturday's Disco? We'll go to you first.
Look, firstly on the pod, what a great first season for us, and wouldn't it be fantastic in our first season to also get into the golden playoffs, as it were, and have a shot at getting in the Prem? So is that an omen as well? Who knows? On that note, I know we've said, look, like and subscribe, guys, particularly subscribing. We're up to 1.9, I saw earlier, so that's a great.
We're so close to 2,000. Should we get 2,000 by the end of the season?
That especially if we get in these playoffs, we've got to get 2,000, haven't we? So anybody
guys in the chat, if you've got, I'm sure you've got Millwall fans, friends, Millwall fans. If they haven't subscribed yet, just ask them. Say, have you subscribed to Chat with Chaps? If they say no, just say, fucking get on it, because we're going to get to 2,000. And basically, we get to 2,000 subscribers, we can even get more money for Cancer Research UK. So it all helps, again, with algorithms. So please help push that number up, and just try and keep pushing it. Cheers, that Disco.
No, you're welcome. And look, let's just have looking forward to a great occasion on Saturday. Let's hope we do ourselves justice, as we're all hoping for. And just look, as I say, I think you've said it, Stephen, and you're absolutely right. Not being too cheesy, how lucky we are to be in this position. Little old bloody Millwall. No one likes us. And yet there we are, punching with the big boys, and really got a chance of doing something special. And I'd say this group of players and the manager would deserve, and the backroom staff, and particularly James Burleson, and for some of our recent lost, Mattia, and obviously Sir John, wouldn't it be fitting for us to do something special for those guys?
You could almost see it. You could picture it, now going forward, can't you? You can imagine, Jimmy there on the pitch side. We're at Wembley. Everyone's celebrating, champagne going everywhere. He pulls out a customary cigar on memory of his old man. As a puff on it, and he points to the sky. That's a dad. And that'd be amazing. That would be a dream. That'd be the perfect ending to it. Stato, Stephen, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Look, it's been up and down the last couple of seasons. We've the clubs, we've dealt with so much as a football club, off the field, on the field as well, but off the field, and we've got nothing to lose on Saturday. Absolutely nothing to lose. I'm going. Steve's going. I'm sure we'll have a chat before the game, Steve, and catch up and whatnot, and anyone else who's going. And we've just got to enjoy it. You just have to enjoy the ride. It's a great time to be a Millwall fan, in my opinion. It's a great time to be excited about what's to come. I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday. I really don't. But I what I do know is, and someone mentioned it earlier about the only disappointment will be if the players don't try. Those players will give us everything on Saturday. They will do their utmost. They will do their best to get us a win, to get us in the top six. I've got no doubt about that. If we fall short when we're beaten by the better team, so be it. But it's a great time to be a Millwall fan. It's a great time to be doing podcasts and talking about it. We'll talk about Millwall till we're blue in the face. We love it, and we'll continue to do that. The charity stuff is amazing. What obviously I've only done a few shows on this particular channel, and the guys have been amazing through the year, and everything that goes towards cancer research is amazing. So it's been phenomenal. It will continue to grow, and as someone said, imagine how amazing it would be doing a Millwall podcast in the Premier League. Just imagine if that's it. But no, that's, as I say, if you're there Saturday, nice early start. See you up there, Steve. Obviously, I will catch you up there, and anyone that's watching. But just enjoy. I know people will say it's nervy. Enjoy the game, guys. We got nothing to lose, and we'll give it everything we got.
Absolutely. And Stephen, again, thanks, mate. I know you come and join us towards the tail end of the season. Probably the best time, to be fair, since you come over. We've been hitting the best form of the season. So just want to say thank you again for everything you've done for us, Stephen. We've got one more to do next week, hopefully more if we're in the playoffs. And cheers for coming on tonight. Disco, same to you, mate. You've been forever present this season. You've held the fort, even when I'm not being here. You know, it's lovely sort of hearing you laugh and the season you kept everyone amused, you know. And I know you've got a lot of Mill fans that tune into this show, and they do like listening to what you say. So again, cheers for everything you've done this season, and to you guys in the chat. You know, again, it sounds a bit corny saying this, but it's so true. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. You know, I'll be at home with watching maths like Disco, be something in front of the TV. Stat and Steve will do some more research on the internet about Millwall, getting more stats for you. But it's great that we've got this opportunity, we've got this platform to speak to you guys, talk about Millwall every week, and whether it's good, bad, come rain or shine, you know, Millwall is our chosen subject. It's what we love. It's what we love doing. But it's nice that we do this, and we've got the platform to do this with you. So again, thanks for being with us this season. Got one more game to go. And let's hope that we can, wrap it up. And again, as you say, let's hit that like button, guys. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button. It was staying at Disco's house afterwards. Exactly.
Oh, my missus would love that.
We're all going there,
especially with the new kitchen in. Oh my God!
We're going to go for a maths party, aren't we? At Disco's. And Stato Steele's going to drive us up there. He's used to doing the long journeys of the motorways, isn't he now, Stephen? all those trips up north. But yeah, that's it, guys. So look, thank you very, very much. Cheers, guys. And we've got a few more coming in. I've got the last few more in before we wrap up. 4 more games to go.
Like it, Ben.
4 more games. I like that. Yeah. I like that, Ben. I like that. But that's it, guys. So thank you very much. I'm going to leave this with you very, very quickly before I wrap things up. Alex Neil's last words were, quote, "Control what we can control, and the rest will take care of itself." Bye for now. Come on, you Lions!
Hello, Millwall fans. Paul Eiffel here. It's time for Chat with Chaps.